Oh, yes. That, sir, madam, that is why we love this game. This is today's Arsenal Raw Reaction Show. Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys and girls for another episode of what is indeed the Arsenal Raw Reaction Show, following the Gunners' 3-1 victory over Bayern Munich in the Champions League phase, moving Arsenal to 3 points clear at the top of the Champions League table and putting themselves into an incredibly strong position as they have now won all 5 of their Champions League games, having, of course, won against so many decent teams so far already. But this was different. This is the marker. This is the statement. This is the boost. This is just, I came into this game, right? And I have to hold my hands up here. And I have to be honest with you. This game for me, I look at Chelsea at the weekend and I see that for me is the game, right? That for me is the one that I really, really, really think this week is so important to have won. And we haven't done that yet. And so I'm still looking at it. And from a personal point of view, when I consider where we are in the Champions League at the moment and the team that we were facing last night, I'd already kind of made peace with, I'd take a draw. I'd take a draw. I think it's a decent result against this Bayern team without so many players. Again, still no recognised centre forward for this Arsenal team at the moment. And how wrong I was about how I would feel, how wrong I was about how I would enjoy, how wrong I was about how I would underestimate the ability, the capacity of this team to just look still so good despite playing a massive game just a few days ago. Oh, it felt good. Oh, it felt really, really good last night. Really good. I have been so sick and tired with Bayern Munich little broing us. It's being like, hello, Arsenal. You get you in the draw. Hello. Hi, guys. Back again. Fancy seeing you here. Oh, I didn't know there was going to be food. But Arsenal ate last night at that party, at that reunion. And Arsenal took European top spot for the moment with a statement to the rest of the continent and this country. I am feeling good this morning. Good morning to those joining you all in the chat box. Thank you so much, as always, for doing so. Appreciate you being here. Amesy, Bakary Lasagna, thank you. Tom, we got Mandy, we got Sina, Amber Lee, we got John, we got Bangkok Gooner, we've got Advi, we've got Sir Nicholas, we've got Matt G in the chat box, Aiken, Warsaw Gooner. We've got Morgan in the chat as well. We've got Claire. We've got so many of you joining us today. Carrie Ann and Dara. Chris, I see as well. Spearman, Paul. Thank you, all of you, as always, for tuning in, joining us. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you for Joel, who's been a member now for 5 months on the channel. And for Alfie, who's been a member for 19 months as well on us. Also says, we're killers, Tom. Cold mentality this season. And thank you for the super chat, Aiken, who says, appreciation super chat to Mikel. Do I have to do a wire transfer to Mikel? I think you'd probably miss that. I don't think he would necessarily. I don't think it would dent his pay packet, but it dents mine. So thank you, Aiken. Appreciation super chat to Mikel Arteta, who I once doubted, but man, he's living the dream. Andrea Berta, thank you for changing our lives. Cronkies, I never thought I'd say it. Thanks for backing the team, back the boys, and yeah, it's all coming together a little bit, isn't it? It's all coming together, and it's all looking pretty good. And I've got a wooden desk, so touch wood. But it's feeling very good. It's feeling very positive. It's feeling very It's hard not to be a little bit hubristic, I think, about this. It's really hard not to get carried away, especially when you look over at Merseyside. Shall we just pause? Pause for a second. Just look to the northwest. Not just the northwestern part where Liverpool resides. But just look over to the northwest for a second at all of the major clubs over there, just in the distance, or rather down the table. Just have a look and smile, because it's you got to enjoy these moments. People tell me that you don't speak too soon, don't tempt fate. No, I'm sorry. I like to enjoy these moments. I like to just revel when you win. I like to revel in the moment. If it goes all whatever up later, then we can moan, complain, whatever. I don't care. But in these moments, just learn to enjoy it. Because if you think about it, I'm going to go a bit deeper. Life expectancy, 80 years, depending on where you live. That means you'd have 80 seasons that you might be able to enjoy potentially your team winning. And the reality is that you're probably going to win. Some people never. Some people very few. So enjoy these moments. Enjoy being top of the pile. And it matters in May. And I think Vincent Kompany spoke last night. He said, you don't want to be the best team in November. And he's absolutely right. You want to be the best team at the end of everything. That's when you want to be the best team. But my word, just enjoy. Drink it in. Just enjoy it. Right, let's jump into today's stories. Do drop a like on the video. Do subscribe to the channel if you're new around here with those notifications turned on so you never miss a show. And of course, I'll be back with you every single morning breaking down everything Arsenal. We'll have a press conference tomorrow. We'll have a game, of course, at the weekend as well. Arsenal at Chelsea on Sunday. I'll be there, as I was there last night, to witness Arsenal moving to the top, clear at that level in Champions League. Only team in Europe to have won all of their top games at Champions League level. Brilliant performance, brilliant result, brilliant evening. We moved to the Emirates to compete with the likes of Bayern. That classic comment you will remember. I think it was Ivan Gazidis that said that. That was why we moved. Arsenal moved from Highbury to the Emirates to be able to compete with the likes of Bayern. Well, we finally entered that phase where that is very much the case for Arsenal. Arsenal are amongst those European elite, and they are not just competing, but they are winning, and they are winning well. And now it's about going and trying to take everything that is on offer. I want it all. I'm not saying that we will win it all, but I want it all. And I think this team has the capability of fighting on every single front. Because you know what? Last night, no Gabriel. No Victor Gyökeres, no Kai Havertz, no Gabriel Jesus, Madueke not yet fully fit, Odegaard not yet fully fit, Martinelli not yet fully fit. Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting someone. I'm sure I'm forgetting someone. Leandro Trossard comes off injured. Woof. 2 changes from the team that beat Spurs at the weekend. In fact, let's just hop over to the lineup, shall we? Different changes to what I thought. Now, I didn't think Mosquera would come in, but I'm surprised. Naturally, Arteta explained afterwards that Nketiah kind of played 3 games, with 2 with Ecuador, 1 with Arsenal in a space of a very short period of time, a lot of travel. So it made sense that Mosquera came in, but Mosquera was great. Mosquera was great. Really strong performance from him. Lewis-Skelly we'll come on to in a little bit. He's probably the only little downside of the evening I think we need to mention and talk about. But overall, I think the team was as expected. I thought Lewis-Skelly would come in. I thought maybe Nketiah would keep his place, but it's fine. Mosquera came in. That shows you the depth that we've got. I just think that obviously the rotation, the big rotation, we've got a lot of games coming up this December. We're going to have to find some ways to rotate. Players are going to be coming back. We're going to have a lot more opportunities to do so. Dara, if you want my player ratings, you can head over to the Football London website, do my player ratings. They are published on the Full-Time Whistle. So if you're ever looking for a piece on the whistle with player ratings, you can find mine on the Football.London website after every single game. I always tweet them as well over at Tom Cantor Media on X. So you can always catch my player ratings and get what my ratings were of the game straight after the final whistle always. So go and give that a read with the descriptions behind each player as well. So go and check it out. But yes, let's talk about how the game played out. Arsenal, of course, taking the lead courtesy of a set piece. Arsenal's first set piece goal since that Bukayo Saka penalty in Prague. And then before that, it was the Victor Gyökeres header from a kind of a reversed crossed Gabriel corner from Declan Rice at Burnley. So 3 of Arsenal's last, well, what was it? It was 11 of 13. So it's now 4 of their last 16 goals. 4 of Arsenal's last 16 goals have come from set pieces so far in the last 16 goals that they've put away. Just 4. But that was, 3 of 16. But that was one of the best. The delivery from Saka. Now, Saka has obviously, I think, been outclassed by Declan Rice in terms of his deliveries this season. Declan Rice has taken all of the plaudits for how he whips the ball into the box, gets it into those dangerous positions, those particular areas. That's where the credit lies mainly. But Saka's deliveries yesterday were causing utter chaos. You know, whether it was from open play, whether it was from like the rebounds and the kind of the cutbacks and those balls into the box. There was one for Mikel Merino in the second half. We'll talk about him in a little bit. But brilliant cross from Saka. Timber rises highest. Seems those pre-match prayers continue to be answered. Long may that continue. We spoke to Jurrien Timber day before yesterday. I heard from him at the Shubber Royalty Training Centre speaking in the press conference. He's always been someone I've enjoyed having a chat with and hearing from, and that was no different. And to see him score, you know, he needs to score goals, not because you're sitting there and saying, "Oh, that guy needs to score more goals." It's not because of that. The reason Jurrien Timber needs to score goals is because it gets him the credit that he deserves for his game overall. It brings more attention to him. It brings his profile more into the mainstream because, unfortunately, unlike you and me, who can appreciate the performances of a fullback, regardless of them getting goals or assists or pinging 50-yard passes from one side of the pitch to the other and then leaving your boyhood club disgracefully. I'm joking. I don't think there's anything wrong with him leaving. Trent Alexander-Arnold, I'm only joking. But I think those types of fullbacks, you know, get a lot more credit because of how they play. Like Frimpong last season with Bayer Leverkusen before disappointing this season at Liverpool. I don't mean to be slamming Liverpool so much. It just keeps happening. But Jurrien Timber, you know, sometimes needs those goals to just bring his name again into the forefront of the conversation about who is the best right back, because there is really only one name in the frame for me right now who's the best right back in the world, and that is Jurrien Timber. For me, he is the world's best right back currently, and what a job the club have done, not just bringing him to the club, but recovering him from that awful knee injury, and have now, you know, just developed and cultivated him into just what is just a stunning footballer. And a great person as well. It's always worth adding that on the end. But obviously, Arsenal's lead was not there and held for long. A ball over the top. Joshua Kimmich, fantastic pass. I actually thought it was Michael Olise. I hadn't realised that Bayern's wingers had swapped sides in the moment. But it was Serge Gnabry, actually. Another moment for Serge Gnabry, a goal contribution against his old club. Brilliant first-time cross. And then another first-time finish from Karl. It was a brilliant goal. There cannot be no question about how good of a goal this was. Karl, I was very impressed by 17 years of age. It seems that Bayern have produced another exciting... I say produced. I always have to assume that they've actually probably signed them from somewhere else. I always assume... People assume that Joshua Kimmich came from Bayern, but he didn't. But yes, indeed. Lennart Karl has come through the academy at Bayern Munich, whereas Kimmich, of course, came through with Stuttgart and Leipzig. People will forget, but it's easy to do that because Bayern just kind of hoover up so much talent in Germany. But yeah, I was very impressed by Lennart Karl and his performance and his kind of skill, pace, technical ability. I will say that I think that Miles Lewis-Skelly is... this is kind of the first of a few moments in the game where, obviously, with Thomas Tuchel in attendance as well, watching the game, because there was obviously a number of England players involved on both sides, although you probably wouldn't have realised it, that Harry Kane actually did play. Did you know that Harry Kane played last night? I didn't think he did when I was leaving, but someone told me on the way. He's like, "Did you see Harry Kane?" I was like, "Harry Kane, he plays for Bayern, does he?" Didn't know he played for Bayern. He was there. Was he there? He was there. Oh, yeah, he was there. Oh, okay. Interesting. For the record, that's the first game in which Harry Kane has played against Arsenal, which has been limited to a total of 0 shots in the game against Arsenal. First time that's happened. But yes, Arsenal concede. Very good equaliser, but I think that Miles Lewis-Skelly's somewhat at fault. I think positionally, he's caught out, steps up. And I talked about that, didn't I, on yesterday's preview. I did say that if there is a time where you think Miles Lewis-Skelly's going to get caught out, it tends to be those balls in behind. But there were a couple of other occasions where he was as well. There was a moment in the second half from Mikel Arteta that he just absolutely destroys Lewis-Skelly on the outside, and Lennart Karl as well, also utterly, quite simply beat Miles Lewis-Skelly. I think that for the record, you need to go and watch the Atletico Madrid game before you start talking about Miles Lewis-Skelly this season. He was excellent against Atletico Madrid. Miles was great in that game. And I'm just being fair. I'm just analysing in the most grounded, objective way. And when a player doesn't have their best game, we talk about it, and we obviously put context to it. And the context of Miles is that he's not playing regularly. That's definitely context. But you could say the same about Mosquera. You could say the same about Hincapié. They've come in after not playing too many minutes and have done well. But Miles has probably played less regularly. Obviously, those two went away with their respective international nations during the break and played. Mosquera played 90 minutes for the under-21 Spanish side. Hincapié played twice for Ecuador. So you could say that, he's a little rustier, and maybe that's more so on us. Again, I did say it on the weekend. On the weekend against Spurs, I would have liked to see Miles Lewis-Skelly come on as soon as Eza scored that fourth goal. I would have liked to see the changes made earlier in that game to give the likes of Miles more minutes on the pitch so he could kind of get in the swing of things before we expected him to start in this one. But I think it's just a lack of rhythm. It's just a lack of familiarity. We know what Miles is capable of. He was excellent last season, and he has been excellent in games like Atletico Madrid this season as well. So it's really important to apply that context. But Arsenal then, the second half obviously comes out, and it's just all about Arsenal this half. And they just kept pounding the door, just constantly trying to somehow get something from this game. Try and find the winner. Break down that German defence. I thought Tar had a really strong game. Upamecano at fault, of course, in the end for the second goal of Arsenal's. But I thought their backline was really interestingly set up. The way in which Tar and Upamecano play, as well as Lima and Stanisic, were really interesting kind of performances, I thought, from them, and how they approached the game, how they were trying to press Arsenal and beat the press and get the ball up the pitch quickly. It was quite impressive at times. But Arsenal managed to still create opportunities, create moments. We forget the Eza chance in the first half. What touch from him, by the way, nutmeg, and then the reverse. He should have taken the shot on his left foot, in my opinion. He tries to find Saka and kind of messes up the execution. But Mikel Merino was involved in that opportunity, some fantastic link-up and passing. But his link-up was really strong. His game was really good in this. Mikel Arteta brought him up unprovoked in the press conference after the game. And so that was also very, very special too. So I think that Merino, despite having some chances that probably should have done better with, there was the header that he kind of put wide from the Declan Rice corner. There was the Saka cross that he headed straight at Neuer. There was that chance on his right foot. He kind of skewed over the bar. In terms of execution of chances, not his best game, but overall still a really strong game from Merino. And you have to always, again, apply that understanding that he's not a number 9. He's a defensive player, remember? But I think when it comes to Merino now, we just have this understanding that if you play him, he's going to give you 100%, 110%. He's going to do absolutely everything he can. He's, as I've said this before, for me, he's the new Mohamed El Neni, but just to a higher level in this group. He is a cult hero. He is a player that people can appreciate. He's got one of the best chants in the group. Really important signing. In no way can it be argued as a miss. He's such a hit of a signing for Arsenal, and he steps up in the biggest of games. He scores in the biggest of games. He scores in big moments for us. He assists in big moments for us. He's a big game player. He scored against Real Madrid, Chelsea, France, Liverpool. A fantastic couple of goals in Slavia Prague earlier in the season. He steps up for us. He's really important for us. So when you don't have 3 natural centre forwards available, he comes in and does a fantastic job. And he did that last night. But Arsenal did get the breakthrough, and it comes because of Mikel Arteta's changes. Mikel Arteta, of course, bringing off Miles Lewis-Skelly, replacing Ricardo Calafiori, Gabriel Martinelli, coming on for Bukayo Saka. Madueke moves then to the right. I was interested to see how if he would move Martinelli to the right or stick with Madueke on the left. I thought Madueke was doing okay up until his goal on the left-hand side. He was causing some problems. He's just got such an ability to beat a man and get him behind. He's got great pace. There was a moment, I think, where he got close to the touchline and was unlucky not to get a better ball into the box. But when he moved to the right-hand side, again, Madueke getting his first Arsenal goal and breaking that deadlock. And he needed to, I think. I think I'd heard after the game that apparently some Chelsea fans were starting to do that whole, 007 thing with Madueke. But let's be honest, he was injured. And when he wasn't even scoring at the start of the season, his performances were still excellent. He was really, really helping us in the absence of Bukayo Saka. Madueke is a big reason why we were able to be as dangerous as we were in those games. And he was a big part of the start of our season. But the goal, it's a great finish, and he's in the right place at the right time, and I'm so glad he got it, and it's really important they did because it shuts up some absolute fools who behave like children in the summer, and honestly, they should be ashamed of themselves. There's no problem with me thinking if you question the signing, you criticise maybe a little bit, had concerns, nothing wrong with that, but people who started to graffiti Hornsey Road or start petitions or sign petitions, that was you. I hope that you are looking at the mirror with a sense of shame and learn from it. Just learn from it for the future, just to not judge things so quickly. Question, concern, criticism, worry, no problem. Creating petitions, graffitiing a wall, grow up, you losers. Anyway, moving to the goal, Ricardo Calafiori comes off the bench. Great first of Arsenal turnover possession from Upamecano. Fantastic pass. I say fantastic pass. It was just kind of a tap-through pass to Calafiori, but it's a little bit Foden-esque to Eze for England. But Calafiori down the left-hand side, fantastic cross. Absolutely stunning ball from Calafiori. It's impossible not to like the guy. I mean, not like him as much as Laura likes him. You know. That's a different level of love and lust, probably more than anything else. But he's just a joy to watch Calafiori as a player. And again, it's one of those times where last season he was getting injured time after time, and the amount of people that would be like, "Oh, we've got another one, we've got another Diaby, we've got another Gabriel Jesus, can't stay fit." Look, he may get injured again this season. He may have fitness concerns. There's no doubt that he goes through kind of these periods where he'll have a number of injuries in a quick amount of time. But there is no concern for me to a point where you're starting to think in the single season that you need to think, "Oh, we've got another one of these, Jack Wilshere's, Diaby's, whoever you want to use as the example," because he's been fit all this season. He missed the Italian games through they rested him. They were cautious with him. Wish Brazil had taken the same approach with Gabriel. Obviously, they didn't. But Italy did. Gattuso did. Thank you, Gattuso. Really appreciate you. And Calafiori's come back in. Great game against Spurs. Solid game. Wasn't a standout as he was in other games, but had a solid game. But then comes off the bench here, produces a great cross that Madueke's. Thank you very much. Tap into the back of the net. It's 2-1. You think, wow, Arsenal might actually get a result here. Oh, wait, they're definitely going to get a result because this man just loves scoring an open goal. This man it's almost like he is the Neuer kryptonite, really. When you think about Gabriel Martinelli and you think about the style of goalkeeper that Manuel Neuer is, who is chaotic and over-exuberant and just all of the whatever adjective you want to use to describe Manuel Neuer, Gabriel Martinelli is his worst nightmare in these situations because he loves scoring these goals. And I think I was right. He is a bit of a road runner. There is a road runner quality about Martinelli. Because the ball, obviously, from Eze involved again in the build-up for a goal for Arsenal. Been so good this week, Eze has been so good. We'll start again. Odegaard's got a big job getting back into this team, and obviously maybe it's a different change of structure. Maybe Eze moves to the left for some games. We'll have to wait and see. We've got loads of options, and it's very exciting. But ball over the top. First touch. I don't know if Martinelli knows where Neuer is when he takes that first touch. I haven't seen the goal enough to know whether or not Martinelli's kind of turned around and seen Neuer before he takes the first touch. Because I think he's looking behind him at the ball as the ball comes into him, and then he takes the touch. And then I think he sees Neuer and he's like, "Oh, bloody hell." My touch has just completely taken the goalkeeper out of the game. I don't think he ever expected him to be there. And then he just has to do the rest of the business, and he does it clinically, smartly, maturely. it's just, again, another great moment. And Gabriel Martinelli finishing off Bayern and Arsenal come away with all 3 points. Very comfortable. Statement made. Top of the table. Happy days. Brilliant stuff. As was this man. Goodness gracious me. Declan Rice, we got him half price. Half price? We're going to have to start changing that. It's a pittance what we paid for Declan Rice. An absolute pittance. I'll tell you this now. If Arsenal go on to win some stuff this season, some big stuff this season, if, touch wood, I genuinely want to have a conversation about the Ballon d'Or for this man. And I don't think that it is, you see Rodri winning it, of course, Manchester City. I don't think that it is beyond the realms of possibility that we start having a conversation about Declan Rice amongst the absolute best players in the world. Because time after time, game after game, he's got the delivery, he's got the engine, he's got the power, he's got the ability to get into the box these days. He has taken his box-to-box ability into the stratosphere. Huge credit, of course, to Mikel Arteta for helping and coaching and developing and cultivating and turning him into just, we all thought he was going to be our Rodri. Most of us thought he was going to be the anchor, the base, the foundation. Turns out he is the bells and whistles of our structure. He is the luxury item that continues to elevate everything good about what Arsenal do while being so integral to this team. Rice, baby. Brilliant performance. Fantastic game. Worthy winner of player of the match. Wouldn't have given it to anyone else. But no, I think Jurrien Timber was absolutely excellent in this game. I think the Jurrien Timber was up there with Rice in this game. I think it could have been a toss-up between the two of them. There was one other performance as well. Who was it? Who was the other guy? Somebody else. I gave a 9 to someone else, and now they've slipped out my mind. Who else was the other 9 that I gave in the game? Was it? It wasn't Mads? I don't think it was Mads. I think I gave Mads an 8. I gave my 9s to Bosh. Yes. Was it Eza? Did I give it to Eza? I think I might have given it to Eza. Yes, I did. I gave a 9 to Eza. I thought Eza was fantastic. Zubimendi, you're absolutely right to start asking me. I gave Zubimendi an 8 in the game. I thought he was brilliant. It's all about context, isn't it? I think I think Rice and Eza were slightly better than Zubi, so I couldn't. And we don't do half points. It would be an 8.5 if I could do halves, but we don't do halves. We don't do things by half here. But Zubimendi was, again, stunningly good. Stunningly good again. Our midfield is just a joy, isn't it? Our midfield is just an absolute joy. I said in the summer that I thought that there was a chance that the signing of the season would be Martin Zubimendi. I thought that the signing of any team, the best signing any team would make this summer might be Martin Zubimendi. And I think it was going to go under the radar because we knew that signing was happening for so long. We'd been kind of numbed to it, because since January and Sammy Mockbell broke that story, we kind of were numb to the idea about Martin Zubimendi. And all of the emphasis was on attacking players, the centre forward, the attacking midfielder, the player who can play in a wide position. All of the attention on Arsenal's summer signings was there, that area. And I think maybe that it was kind of just like a formality. Oh, Arsenal bringing in Zubimendi. Yeah, of course they are. We know that. We've known that for ages. We have known that forever. But let's be real, guys. Is there a better number 6 in the world right now? Oh, wait. Anybody? No, better number 6 currently. I'm not talking about all time. I'm not talking about even the best over the last few seasons. I'm talking about right now. Is there a better number 6 than Zubimendi? Anywhere. Moises Caicedo, I think, is in with a shout. Definitely. I think he's had an excellent season. He had an excellent year. I think Martin Zubimendi's just a different. I mean, he's not like a defensive midfielder. He's a deep-lying playmaker. That is Zubimendi's role. Vitinha. It's in Vitinha. He doesn't play as a 6. Zubimendi is just stunningly good, isn't he? He's just really, 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 really good. Really good. Dan says maybe Højbjerg. Woof. Out of left field. Anyway, let's talk about the manager. I always have this level of consciousness when I talk about Mikel Arteta because I know, it's easy. It's not just me; it's others. Reputations for just pining over Arteta at times, and we've had my periods of doubt. We, as a channel, as a community, we've had our periods of doubt. We've had our periods of criticism. We've had our periods where we weren't sure if it was going to be the right choice. But I mean, what more is there? I don't know what more is there I can say these days about Mikel as Arsenal manager. I mean, currently, again, we're talking currently. I'm not talking about, records and trophies. As of this moment, he's like the stock of any coach in Europe. He is probably the highest, right? His stock is probably higher than any other manager anywhere right now. I don't know who you would put ahead of him right now in terms of like current best coach operating at this moment, in terms of tactics, in terms of in terms of not man management. That is the aspect of his game I still think needs to improve. But in terms of understanding of the game, in terms of, to be fair, his changes yesterday were excellent. His changes won us the game. Won us the game. His changes, his changes, I think, were so impactful. Obviously, the performance of the players are what win you the game. But I still don't think that he gets enough credit. That might seem mad to some people. I still don't think he gets enough credit. Because we talk about the players, we talk about the performance, we talk about everything. We have these raw reaction shows. I still don't think he gets enough credit from enough people for what he has done with this squad, with this team, with this group. Andrea Berta, no doubt. You have to talk about Andrea Berta's impact on this team from the summer and the players that he's brought in. But Andrea Berta's job is done. Andreas Berta's job really finished when the window closed. He's still doing other work regarding kind of contract extensions, and we're very appreciative of it. But it was kind of like, that's his part of the job finished. 10 out of 10. Beautiful scenes. Did a great job, Andrea Berta. Once that summer's closed, you hand over to the players and the coach and the coaches and the manager, and then they take that forwards. And I think that Matt has this spot on. This is without question where we're at. Fundamentally, Tom, Arteta won't get the credit he deserves until he wins a major trophy. It is true. That you can't escape that. You can't escape that fundamental. It's a great word Matt's used there, because that is the spot on word. You cannot escape that element of the conversation. That until he gets that trophy, and I think he will, the Premier League, what's so horrible about this, because I'm loving every game at the moment. I'm loving every show, every pass, shot, goal, cross, corner, free kick, definitely. I'm loving everything right now. And it builds, and it doesn't. You're building it again with the Sisyphus analogy. We're pushing the boulder up the hill. The boulder is going up the hill. We're getting over these little bumps and these worries. We come up to a little steep bit when you play Spurs, you get over it. Another steep bit, you play Bayern, you get over it. You have a little slip at Sunderland, and it's like, oh, you're gonna fall. But where Sisyphus, of course, failed, as we talked about the other day in that analogy of the boulder up the hill, it's a case of the weight of that boulder gets greater and greater as the expectation builds around this club. And my goodness me, if we don't win, if we don't win the Premier League this season, I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do, because and it's not a case of like we are owed it. No one is entitled to anything. No one is entitled to any trophy ever. And it's not a case of me being entitled about the Premier League this season. I'm in the mindset of, oh my goodness, how can we not win it this year? Because of how good we are, how good he is, how good our team is. That's why I'm in that mindset of we have to win it this year. And it's not just about this season. I think people will look and go, oh, Arsenal, you look at other teams right now. It's not about that. It's about the journey to getting here. It's not just about the destination. This has been years in the making. years in the making to get to this point, to get to the position where we are. And I have said this before. I don't want to be that Liverpool team last season that you are seeing this season. Liverpool got incredibly lucky last year. Everything fell into place. Everything went their way. From other teams being awful to them getting away with so much. Arsenal aren't getting away with stuff this season. Arsenal are blowing teams away, not just, and it's not by like scoring 5, 6, 7 goals in each game. They're blowing them away with dominance and control. They're giving them nothing. We're giving teams zilch, and we are taking the opportunities when they come through different means. You set up a low block, great. We're going to whip in a corner and beat you that way. We have so many keys to unlock so many different doors because we have built this machine, this juggernaut of a team. We have built a monster. He is a monster. He has created something that is just so dominant, so immovable, so unbreakable right now that the expectation is huge. Huge. And you're seeing the fortune of Liverpool last season, this season to a degree. And you have to put the context of the Diogo Jota stuff in it. And I'm not ignoring that. Diogo Jota stuff has to come into the conversation. It's just very, very difficult to quantify that impact in anything, because grief is something, as I always point out when we have this conversation, it's unquantifiable. You can never measure it. It affects people in clubs, teams, groups, individuals in different ways. We've all experienced it. Most of us should have experienced it by now. We know it affects us in very different ways. But the reality for me was that last season, I think, was a hangover from the Jurgen Klopp campaigns. And it was kind of this muscle memory element of them kind of going and winning game after game in combination with the fact that Arsenal and City just weren't at it. And you saw that at the end of their season, how they started to trail off. This season, they've lost a couple of crucial players. They've signed huge stars, massive quality. This is Arne Slot's team starting to take shape, and he can't get the results. When Arsenal, and they said when they win the league then, if they win the league, and I feel they should win the league this season, it is not job done. That is first box ticked. That's what the Premier League title is to Arsenal this season. It's the first box ticked on a series of objectives of dominance. That's what I want. That's what I've been after. That's why I've stuck by this guy and this team and this ownership for so long, to the detriment sometimes of some people's sanity, because that's what I feel that it is heading towards. A period of dominance, not just one trophy fall away. That's not what I want. I want Arsenal to be the club. I want Arsenal to be the best, not just for a single season, but for the foreseeable future. That's what I want. And that's why I've stuck by this guy, this team, this group, these owners, this hierarchy for as long as I have, and through periods where people were done and fed up and bored and just like, I don't like how we're playing at the moment. It's boring. Winning's boring. Okay, cool. Good for you. We're scoring too many set pieces. We've scored 13 of our last 16 from open play, in which we've beaten some massive sides. So look, dynasty is the word. I mean, it's a good word. It's about building a dynasty of success, and that's what Arsenal have been building towards over the last 5 years. I've been telling you that 2025 is the year. I'm saying that since 2022, that 2025 has been marked as the year where it was supposed to come together. It nearly came together earlier, but it's coming together more than anything this season, and that's a great, fantastical, wonderful, brilliant place to be in right now. I'm going off on so many tangents this morning. I haven't even got my laptop charger plugged in because it's in the other room. So I need to be aware of that while I continue to run through this. Last slide, though, before we go to your questions, your comments in part 2. This is what the table looks like in the Champions League right now. Arsenal sitting with 5 matches played, 15 points. PSG, Bayern, Inter, Real Madrid, all on 12. Dortmund on 10 with Chelsea. Sporting on 10 with Manchester City also, and Atalanta. Down into 11th place, you find Newcastle on 9 with Atletico Madrid, Liverpool in 13th, Galatasaray also on 9. Then you have PSV on 8 points, Tottenham on 8 points in 16th, Leverkusen, who just beat Manchester City, on 8 points, and Barcelona down there in 18th place. Absolutely. It's just a wondrous time right now. It's a wondrous time right now. So enjoy it. Just enjoy it, please. I can't tell you enough times. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment because it is so important to do that. Because one day it won't be enjoyable again. That's just the nature of sport. So you got to enjoy these moments when they come around. Like you can enjoy the safety and security that you can be provided by signing up to the #1 VPN service on the network. And as you know, as I know, as we all know by now, if there is a table-topping VPN service, there is only one, and that is NordVPN. And if you go to nordvpn.com/Gooner, you can get yourself a significant discount off a 1 or a 2-year plan. We are getting very close to Black Friday, and there are some Black Friday deals if you want to go and check them out as well. Go over to the nordvpn.com/Gooner and check them out for yourself. You can change your geodigital location on your laptop, your mobile, or indeed your tablet. And you can head over, of course, to get that security and safety, to keep your data safe from snoopers and criminals. No one likes snoopers and criminals. Which one of you is sitting there going, oh, I love a snooper or a criminal? Who are you? You're no one. And you can stay a no one, of course, because you're getting nowhere near our data, because NordVPN gives us that extra shield. Well, you might rotate out a shield now and again and bring another shield in called Mosquera or Hincapie, because, we've got layers to this, as do Nord, which will give you layers to your protection while using perhaps a public Wi-Fi service. So make sure you get over and check it out. Right, let's go to part 2, your questions and more, right after this. Right, this is part 2 of today's show. We'll be tackling some of your questions. So if you indeed have got any thoughts, comments, queries, theories that you want to throw to me, now is the time to do that. Ake says, Tom, when are you going to release the vlog? And how important do you think this win with when we are going up against Chelsea? Hopefully the vlog will be out by lunchtime today. So it's a little shorter today than usual, but yeah, it'll be out lunchtime-ish. So make sure you follow me on Instagram at Tom Canton Media. That's where you find my Instagram page and my matchday vlogs. If you are on Instagram, you can find me over there. So there's matchday vlogs of all the games so far, other than Burnley, because I had an absolute nightmare. I didn't even tell you. I had a nightmare last night. My travel luck at the moment is horrendous. As you know, you can go back and watch the dedicated video I gave you to the Burnley game. If you go over to the video section, you'll see the one that says what happened to me in Burnley, and I give you the whole story. Last night was not as dramatic or as bad as that, but I did get the train very late because Vincent Kompany took a long time to come out from his press conference. Got on the train, finished off my morning line, which you can go and give a read to if you would like, and then fell asleep on the train. Missed my station. Woke up 2 stations further down the line. Could have been much worse. Had to ring the missus. Can you come and get me, please? I fell asleep on the train. I'm really sorry. I know you got a big day tomorrow, and I know that you need your sleep. But can you come and get me? Because there's no trains, and the Ubers are like £60 to go 20 minutes. So please help me. So yeah, could have been way worse. Could have woke up in like Dover. That would have been bad. So yeah, it's been a long week, and I've had some late nights, and yeah, it finally got the better of me yesterday. So certainly was good to I'll include that in the vlog, because I did take a video of the station I was just sitting at for 20 minutes while my missus come and drove to come and get me. But yeah, had better traveling. I've had worse times getting home, but much better ones, of course, as well. Vivian says, did you see Max Dowman's goal in the under-19s yesterday? It reminded me of Dennis Bergkamp. Yes, I did. What a beautiful, what an exciting time it is to be an Arsenal fan right now, eh? We've got this brilliant talent in the senior team, and then you look at what's coming through. And not only Max Dowman, but also, of course, Arsenal broke the record, broke their record. And I think the UEFA Youth League record for Luis Munoz, 13-year-old midfielder, became the youngest ever player to feature in the UEFA Youth League. He was born, wait for it, December 2011. Do you feel old yet? December 2011. An Arsenal 13-year-old talent was born who is now broken into the Arsenal under-19s youth league side. Amazing talent coming through. Shay says, was Arteta's FA Cup lucky? I am just trying to understand how you consider Slot's trophy as lucky win. Shay, honestly, mate, I don't know how you wake up in the morning with a smile on your face. If you do, that's a credit to yourself. You know, what was it you were saying yesterday? Arsenal are mentally fragile. Yes, they conceded against Bayern. What happened? They went and got 2 past them. I don't know. I couldn't put myself in your mindset. You have one life, just one, on this earth, and that's your mindset. Goodness me. Culture Mark said, TC Arteta out. Where are these people now? That's a great follow-up comment to the last one. The scary thing is we still haven't seen a fully fit side. Other teams are scared. What's your view? Great stream as always. Thanks, mate. I mean, these people are in hiding. There's no doubt about that. And the ones that aren't in hiding are just embarrassing themselves. So, yeah, look, it's just great at the moment. It's absolutely wonderful at the moment. And it's been coming for a long time. If you haven't seen it, as I said before, last season, if you weren't on board, if you're not on board now, you never will be. It's too big of a thing for you. Your hatred of Arteta, your dislike of him is greater than your love of Arsenal. It's as simple as that. THC says, to what extent can Arsenal justifiably state that they are currently the best team in Europe based on form and league standings? Well, they can justify it by looking at 2 tables, the Premier League and the Champions League table. Just point to each one. Be like, that's why they are. Rob says, Tom is 100% correct in saying to enjoy it because sadly, as great as we feel now, we will feel the polar opposite if we lose to Chelsea on Sunday. Indeed. Let's not put that energy out there. D says, I hope you're well, mate. What's up with the chat box names and when's the next phone in? Hopefully, but this phone-in's tricky these days because there's games every other day, it feels like at the moment. But I don't know. YouTube has changed something. I don't like it. Hopefully, it returns to something else very soon. Dara says, Tom, genuinely, what is your take on us winning everything? I know it's very, very early and I can't get too ahead of ourselves, but I honestly believe that the only team can stop us is ourselves. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the only team that can stop Arsenal is Arsenal right now. But no, it's November. Let's just, I think we can compete on all fronts. I do. And I think we can absolutely have the ambition to try and win everything that we're in. But let's just, keep it grounded a bit. Max says, Tom, which was the better cross for their goals? Calafiori for Noni or Ezza's for Martinelli's? Of course, Nelly still had to do a lot of work. I think Calafiori's is gorgeous. Like, they're just the whip. The wickedness, I think, was a word that was used in the press conference. A wickedness of that cross was just brilliant. John says, Tom, do you think the players will stop believing or have doubts if Arsenal don't win something this season? I mean, it's November, mate. I think we can probably have that conversation if and when that happens, but not now. The signature says, is this the best momentum under Arteta? Without question, I think this is the most momentum and the kind of, the rolling ball, if you like, that we've had so far. Space Monkey says, hey Tom, did you catch Kimmich's post-match interview? He looked pretty salty to me. I mean, a few of the Bayern players are quite salty. I think they were like, I hope we play Arsenal again in the knockouts. So do I. We win 3-1 against these guys. I'd love to. They're a team, not unfortunately for them, they're a great team. They're a team that aren't used to being humbled. They're a team that aren't used to being beaten. And when it happens, I don't like it. So you have to kind of expect that. You have to expect that to a degree. A2K says, extremely happy how the last 2 games have gone. I'm a bit worried about Timber's playing time, but I also feel that White is currently not the White of the past. What are your thoughts? I think you're probably spot on. It's good to see White get some minutes yesterday. It's important he gets some minutes. So yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, you can get blocked. That's not very nice. Let's go to Claire says, the ones that aren't in hiding should be. John says, thoughts on Martinelli? How can we get Champions League Martinelli's output in the Premier League? Are there people who still want to sell him? Can't wait for us to have him and inform Gyökeres back as well. It's just going to take moments, isn't it? It's going to take consistently. Trossard getting injured, we didn't really touch on that. Arteta said that, they didn't want to risk him. But I wouldn't be surprised if he missed the weekend. But, we don't really know how serious it is yet. We'll hear from Mikel Arteta tomorrow from the Shopper Royalty Training Centre. So look out for that. But, yeah, it's difficult. We don't know. And he might get some minutes now. He's got a great record against Chelsea, so maybe he'll start there on Sunday. And Mikey says, our stats are simply mind-blowing. The self-haters have absolutely no leg to stand on. They've been utterly blammed, mudded, very much so. Pat says, I've calculated that the only way that we don't win everything is if Rice gets injured. We are so good. I believe the Arsenal says, hi, Tom. How do you see our next 4 Premier League games going? Well, with my expert opinion, I'm going to go with well. Yes, they're going to go well. I'm going to go with that. That's my prediction. They're going to go well. Tony says, Tom, at some point, these negative people be right and celebrating and being like, oh, I told you so attitude. Absolutely. Political Junkie says, really happy with Madueke. We told them when they were saying he is the worst signing ever that he will prove them wrong. He is an explosive player who works very hard for us. Claire says, Tom, I got told to shut up last night at work while I was in the 857th rendition of North London Forever. I'm not surprised. Pepper says, Tom, with 8 games in December, 7 games in January, which games would you heavily rotate in? I think heavily rotate is probably beyond our capability, to be honest. But I would rotate some players out on Wednesday against Brentford. I think we probably need to change some players. I think we need to switch some things up, give some players that are coming back in. I probably would rest Saka for that game and bring Madueke in and start that game. I think Club Brugge, I think we can afford to rest some players. We've then got Wolves, which, you would say you could rest players, but then we've got a week until Everton, so we don't really need to rotate for Wolves. But Club Brugge and Brentford, I think, are the 2 games where you're going to see the most rotation. The League Cup game against Crystal Palace, I think you've got to rotate a little bit for that, even though it's a cup quarter-final. I still think that because you've got Brighton only 4 days after that, and that is only 3 days after Everton. So, yeah, I do think you need to rotate a little bit for those. Culture Mark says, TC, if the Arsenal first team played the Arsenal second team, who do you think would win? Well, the first team. Because they're the first team. Otherwise, the second team would be the first team, because that's how it works. Arthur says, Tom, I've only got one moan from yesterday, not about Lewis-Skelly, but the DJ selection didn't do it for me. I think the players choose the music before the game. I'm pretty sure the players choose the music while they're warming up. I'm pretty sure that's right. I might be wrong, but I think the players choose the music while they warm up. So take it up with them, Arthur. The Signature says, what's the must-have Christmas gift for the Arsenal shop? I mean, this jumper's pretty nice. It's the new, I don't know what the collection's called, but it's pretty nice. So I'll say this jumper, just to get an easy answer from that. Jordan says, do you think we need to be in a transfer window as much as we have been with all the young players going through? I don't think we need to worry about January unless there's like some serious injuries. I don't think we need to worry about it. Ditcher says, I'm running a bit behind. Tom, got to find a better analogy than Sisyphus. I don't think so. I think it's a really good analogy. We won't fail where he did is the ideal end to that story. But the whole pushing the boulder up the mountain, I think, is a good analogy for where Arsenal are at the moment. THC says, do you think it's unfair on Lewis-Skelly to be thrown in against Elise and Gnabry after not starting in 5 weeks in major competitions? Yes, because he's a Premier League level footballer, an England international, and part of this Arsenal team that needs to be in the ability to rotate in against any opponent. So yes, he did excellently against Atletico Madrid. So yes, it's absolutely fair that he is rotated in for this game. You have to have, if it's not fair, then leave. I think it is fair, and I think that Miles thinks it's fair. That's why I'm happy to say that. But for any player who didn't think that was fair, leave. Simple as that. Amy says, a thought for the late Super Kev, who would have loved this, as he was always positive about Arteta and was often mocked for being Arteta's lawyer. I mean, I'll stop for an hour to talk about Kev with anyone. I'll stop forever to talk about Kev with anyone. So, yeah, absolutely, Amy. I love that. Brilliant thought. Thank you for bringing it up. Aditya says, love the performance now onto the weekend. If we win there, it would just be perfect. I could start believing slowly that Arsenal can win the title. Eddie says, during transfer windows, I said a fully fit Calafiori is better than any overlapping left back. We have enough depth in the squad to run him to the ground, or rather not to run him into the ground. Only player I'm worried about is Timber, looking at his minutes. I think that's probably fair. And I would probably start Ben White against Brentford next week. I think that'd be a good time to rest Timber, to be fair. Dara says, I know we touched on it earlier, but how do you see Martin getting back into the 11? With great difficulty. But again, it's going to be about rotation. It's going to be about substitution. It's going to be about changing things. We don't have to overthink it. That's for Mikel to worry about. But yeah, he's going to have great difficulty doing it. It's going to be very, very hard to do it. So, yeah. Nick says, if you see the odds of betting companies, we have a 0.7% chance of winning all 4, an 85% chance of winning minimum 1, and 70% to win the Premier League. Would you take the win in the Premier League today that we lose the others? No, I don't think so. I think I would chance it. I think I would say, let's go and try and win as many as we can. Donny says, did you see Henri's comments after the Spurs game, speaking about playing as champions and taking it and owning it? Dids, I think he's right. You have to play you have to shut the noise out, focus on yourselves, and go full steam ahead. Absolutely. Anyway, I'm really conscious about my battery life at the moment, so I'm gonna close up shop there. Thank you so much, as always, for listening, and especially because I kind of rambled on quite a lot through the first part of today's show. But I really do appreciate you all, as always, tuning in and taking the time out of your mornings to listen to me. And if you indeed would like to help out in any way you can, just subscribe, and of course also drop a like. They all help, and I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, bright and early, 8 a.m, to talk all things Arsenal once again ahead of the next press conference, which of course takes place tomorrow, and we'll be looking ahead to that game against Chelsea. Show on Saturday breaking down that press conference, show on Sunday previewing that game, and then show on Monday breaking down that game. And then it's on to Brentford. They keep coming, these games, thick and fast, but it's very enjoyable. You just want to get to the next one. You just want to get to that next game, don't you? Like, you just want to see that next game now, because it's so enjoyable watching, covering, talking, writing about Arsenal right now, that it's you just want to get the next one, especially because it's Chelsea. I'm really looking forward to it. And if we can put them in their place, a draw isn't a bad result, but I'd love to win it. I'd love to win against them. And just, the fans have got a little too cocky the last few days, beating Barcelona. It'd be nice to put them in their place, wouldn't it? So hopefully we can do that on Sunday. Stay safe, stay well, stay happy and respectful. Have a fantastic rest of your Thursday. I've got a day off, so I'm going to go enjoy myself. And as always, up the Arsenal.